Hello and welcome back to the Push Forward podcast, the podcast where we help you elevate your content game. If you're a creator, marketer, solopreneur, this podcast is the right place for you. Here at the Push Forward podcast, what we're trying to do is give you all the tools and resources that you need every day. There are hundreds, actually, I should say thousands of tools that you could use there every day. And believe me, I know it. I've been in the digital marketing space for more than 15 years. I have used so many tools that I can't count. And some were great, but most were a waste of time because we often buy into the marketing message, right? I have this pain point, you have the solution, I'll buy it. I'll have my team spend time learning the tools, the features, the functions. But at the end of the day, what you find out is that maybe it doesn't solve your problem. So right off the top, I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about social media management. That's right. The episode today is about streamlining your social media tools. I'll give you some tips for efficient posting. But right from the top, what I'll say is that before you decide that you want to adopt a new tool, think of it like your baby. I mean, really, before you adopt a tool into your marketing stack, into your tech stack, you need to do some auditing. You need to understand who the company is, like who's behind the company, how big their team is. You need to test their support. You need to talk to their sales team. You need to look at the reviews from different users. Go look for videos and always test a free account. So I break it up into really three different phases. The qualification of the tool. So if I hear about a new tool, I go look at it. As I said, I'll look at who the creator is, the company, who's behind it, what are the reviews looking like. I do all of that. That's what I call auditing a tool before I adopt it. Now, once the tool has been, once I've given the green light for my team to sign up for the tool, then my next step is to start the process of talking to support. I'll create a few support tickets, send a contact, perhaps try to call them. The communication part, is it there? That's the phase 2, communication. And in that phase, I'm going to go ahead and sign up for the free trial. Now, if there isn't a free trial, then I'm going to have to really dig deeper to see if I want to part with my money up front. If you're a creator, I get it. Sometimes, you see a tool for $5, $10, $20 a month and you think nothing of it. But the thing is that you still have to spend your time on it. And is the tool really worth it? Is the app really worth it? You need to consider these points in phase 1 of your qualification, right? All right. So now that it's qualified, communication is good. I've done the trial. I'm in the trial. You need to put on your calendar, when are you going to use the tool, and when will you test all the features, and then have your team give you feedback. So what I like to do is I will ask my team, here's the tool, here's a user account for you, test the tool, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and let's curate and tackle the tool together. Someone will take care of doing the tutorials and learning all the ins and outs. Because remember, every time you're learning a new tool, this is a piece of software, whether it's a web app or a smartphone app. At the end of the day, you're taking company time. You're taking time from creating your product, right? So once you do that, you say, okay, this is what we like, this is what we don't like. We know that the communication is working this way, that way. Then you're ready. It's the same thing for Pushbio. Pushbio is a link hosting tool. We like to say to creators that every creator needs a tool like Pushbio, which there are other competitors out there. We've talked in the podcast here, like Linktree. Okay. So there are definitely tools out there that you could use, but we feel like Pushbio is a tool that every creator should have. It makes your life easier. You can create links, you could create landing pages, you could upload documents, and you could do QR codes and so much more. However, perhaps you're the type of creator that you don't need all those things. And in that case, I would tell you that whether it's the free or the paid version, Pushbio may not be the tool for you. And the same goes for any other app or tool out there. Okay. But we know that managing multiple social media platforms can be an absolute nightmare. It's a laborious work that you do. So Streamlining it is truly necessary for efficiency and for your mental health, because believe me, it could be very stressful, especially if you're managing, 20, 30, 40 different social media channels. It can be a nightmare, even with a team that is very savvy with all social media, right? So what are the best social media tools for the job? So I'm going to list some here. There are tons of tools out there that can help you manage social media more effectively, but I'm going to just share a few that I personally recommend that I've been using. Most of these tools I've been using for at least a decade, and they've gotten better and better and bigger with more features and functions. So I like Buffer and Hootsuite. Now, I'd use both tools for different accounts for different reasons, right? I find it that for certain industries, it works better than for others, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. But with both Hootsuite and Buffer, it allows you to schedule multiple posts for as far out as you want to go. I could schedule hundreds of posts on multiple platforms at multiple days, times, and add the content, the pictures, the all of that, right? And I like Hootsuite more because of their analytics and tracking. So I like their analytics and tracking a little bit more than I do Buffer, but I do like some of the features on Buffer more than others. So depends on what industry I'm working with. But I do like being able to host also all that content in there and be able to share it with my team. So before it gets approved, the whole team looks at it. Always you're going to find something that shouldn't have gone out because maybe it didn't meet the guidelines. So if you're a marketer, you know what that's about, right? You want to make sure that whether it's your own company, if you're working internally for the brand, or whether you're working as an agency, that you don't send anything out that doesn't meet the guidelines. So super, super important. Hootsuite, Buffer are going to be great for that. Canva is, a marketer's and creator's best friend. Canva is one of those tools that for the last 10 years, it's been such a saving grace. Of course, I'm always going to lean on my graphic designers who do amazing work on Photoshop, and there's no replacement for that, believe me. But at a moment's notice, if you have to create visuals and posts, Canva is going to do a great job. And now that Canva also is integrated with the plugins on ChatGPT, oh my goodness, it makes it so much easier for you to create things with a simple prompt that takes you then to your Canva. So check it out on ChatGPT. If you don't have the Plus account, get the Plus account. You're going to get access to so many tools and plugins there. And then, of course, I'm going to recommend that you get Pushbio. It is a handy tool for managing all your social media links in one place. And believe me, I'm out there as a marketer, podcaster. I've got books, courses, and I need to have multiple landing pages at a moment's notice with a QR code, with files, with links, pictures, videos, you name it, the stream for different podcasts. I'm able to do that in Pushbio in very few steps. So Pushbio is a tool that I'm going to recommend for any marketer or creator. And then, of course, I'm going to recommend that you use Google Analytics to measure everything, measure your success on social media, email, search, paid search, all of that. So super important for you. Now, one thing is for sure, when you're trying to streamline things, it's so important to have your content calendars, right? You can't talk about streamlining social media without discussing content calendars. I call it an editorial calendar, but it's essential for planning and ensuring consistent posting. We do it simply using Google Drive. Now, of course, you can use fancy tools like Slack and other tools out there like Trello. I like to just use Google Drive. Google Drive is fine. You could use Microsoft as well. But it's very easy to share the sheets, see your editorial calendar, everything that's ahead, add hyperlinks to it. Everyone can add their comments. You got to have a content calendar. You cannot get ahead of the game if you're not using a content calendar. It's really just super, super important to do that. We do have templates that you can use. So we'll definitely add that to the show notes, and as well as the pushbio.io blog. You can go there. We have links to all those types of resources as well. Now, one thing that you can't help, this is just not possible for anyone to do, is that you don't know what's happening with the algorithms. Anyone can pretend they know what's happening with the algorithms, but no one knows. Even when you test, algorithms are always changing, right? So you're trying to stay ahead of the curve. You're trying to ensure maximum engagement. But the truth is, all digital platforms like Google, like Facebook, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We don't own those. We are unrented space. You'll hear me say that again and again. And I know people say, gosh, you've already said this, Alex, but it's rented space. So don't try to game the algorithm. Just have your channel, create great content, be there, be present, be consistent. And believe me, over time, you will drive traffic and you will grow your business. You will grow your products that you have on the digital space. But you can't try to game the algorithms. And there's a lot of, people out there pretending to be marketers saying, hey, I know the algorithm. Listen, testing. It comes down to testing, A/B testing. Test different things, do it often, and then analyze. That's how you get to know the algorithm. And then even then, these tech companies will change it. But it's your job to understand how they changed and when they changed, and then how you optimize based on those changes, right? That's really what it's about. Now, leveraging automation wisely. Automation can be a lifesaver, but it's not always the best engagement, right? And so I will use ChatGPT for automating some content. For example, coming up with new FAQs, coming up with new blog posts. I'll use AI. Article Factory is one of the tools that we use, but of course, ChatGPT. Google Ads, great. Google Ads has implemented their AI, their LLM, and features from Bard into their product, as well as Workspace. This is great, okay? But you're going to do it based on analytics. And to be honest, Google, Facebook, all these organizations that are driving digital ads, what they care about is you spending more money. That's the truth. Nothing wrong with that, right? But is it always in the best interest of the user or target audience you're trying to reach? No. So I'm not a big fan of using AI for paid ads, not for paid ads. I'm not going to leave it to the automated campaign. I still want a Google ad manager who really understands, or whether it's Amazon ads, who really understands how to manage it and optimize. Okay. Is it going to make them more productive? Sure. But it's not going to drive sales to your product or service. Now, enhancing user engagement. The ultimate aim here is not to post, but to engage, right? It's not, now, of course, consistency and posting often is important. You don't want to just post once a month or once a week, but there's different tactics to keeping your audience invested without burning out. Because if you're posting 4, 5, 10 times a day, you're going to burn out your audience, right? So one of the tools that I use is Followerwonk and BuzzSumo. Followerwonk is for analyzing Twitter followers, which X, whatever you want to call it. I'm not big on X, but it is a tool that I use for certain clients on the digital marketing side. Now, a tool that I really like is BuzzSumo. It helps you understand the content that is trending and in your niche. I also like Answer to Public. I've talked about Answer to Public here before, and now it's owned by Neil Patel, their team there. Really, really great people in the area of marketing. So those are some of the tools that I would use to streamline your social media. Okay. But that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you all today. You don't have to sacrifice your sanity to maintain your active social media presence. And believe me, when you're managing lots of different channels, it can be very, very challenging. It could be a 24-hour job. We haven't even talked about the direct messaging and communication that sometimes is coming through 24 hours a day. So check out our show notes for a list of all the tools and resources that we discussed today. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Push Forward podcast. And remember, keep pushing forward. And until next time, take care.